What's happening, friends? Welcome to Unlock, the world's #1 Xbox show for February 7th, 2018. It's episode number 332. Coming up on this week's show, Red Dead Redemption 2 has finally got a pretty concrete release date. We'll talk about that and its effect on other games around that time. Also, PUBG, if you're not tired of it yet, guess what? Your friends are going to all be playing it soon, too. A new bundle on its way. Dying Light, maybe some news coming there. We'll talk about that. DayZ as well. Unfortunate news coming out of Capcom Vancouver regarding the future of Dead Rising. We want to talk about that and so much more. I'm Ryan McCaffrey. To my right, joining us on a full-time basis now.
Hello.
The great Brandon Tyrell.
Thank you for having me.
Love having you here. Brandon, of course, you've been doing Xbox coverage for many years.
Many years.
Before your time at IGN, you and I initially bonded when you got here over our love for Live Arcade.
XBLA.
Live Arcade. It's absolutely.
RIP.
So, Marty, of course, you can still find him each and every week on Beyond, our PlayStation show. And then we've got Miranda.
Hi,
there.
me, Miranda. It's me.
I was in my head. I was gonna introduce Miranda, and then I just looked at you for some reason. I don't know why.
We changed up the seating on you. It's unfair.
It's true.
I bounced over there.
Yeah, it threw me off.
That's my fault. That's fine. I also changed my hair.
That's
This
true.
ruins everything.
Everything's new and different, and I'm scared. Alana, hi. We know you already.
Yeah.
You're awesome. Good to have you here.
Thanks.
You just played Faye, which we're going to
did.
talk about in a second, which is a game I think people should get on their radar. And Miranda, hello.
Hello.
We said hello to you on a full-time basis last week.
Yeah.
Have you back.
It's been good.
New hair and all. Is this? I'm going to take credit. This is for Unlocked.
Yes,
isn't it?
I got my hair
You
done.
went with PlayStation Blue.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Someone's like, why didn't you get green to like celebrate the new position? I was like,
Balance.
y'all, green would not look good.
Everything in balance.
Like a lime green? No. That'd be so bad.
I think you can pull it off.
It would clash with the set here.
Yeah,
anyway,
I don't want to
You
match the
blend
set.
in.
Yeah. I need to
Then
a little
people
bit.
would be like green screening your hair. I mean,
Yeah.
nobody wants that.
Before I had like a kind of teal color, and even then, like you'd blend it with green screen stuff, and it's just like it's not gonna work.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Huh.
All right, so let's get right to it. I want to start actually just with a quick shout out to Adam Gumbert, who has taken up my challenge from early in the year. You know, every year we've had a very, very kind and handy listener make us a trophy for the Unlock Block Trivia Challenge. Destin has a couple of them. Marty's got one. And now we head into 2018, and Alana with an early lead on her new field of competitors.
I definitely know the answer.
So,
to this question
okay.
also.
So
Oh no.
we play the trivia game, the Xbox trivia game, each and every week, and there is a trivia trophy awarded at the end of the year. We play all year long and keep score. So Adam Gumbert, thank you so much for taking up the challenge. He sent me pictures of just the early versions of the trophy as it will be for this year. I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you
It's all
exactly
steel.
what it
Is there a water feature?
Well, now there is. Adams. That's Brandon has raised the bar. So
Exciting.
it's
Thank
going to be
you,
good.
Adam.
Yeah, good stuff, Adam. And so there's that. Alana, you yesterday or 2 days ago, whenever it was, you went and played Faye.
It was last week, Ryan.
Whatever. I edited the preview yesterday.
A full week
so
ago.
I have no sense of time anymore.
Yeah, it's pronounced Faya, but I just keep calling it Faye because it's spelled F-E. But
Wait,
it's
what is it? Faya?
Faya.
What? There's no way.
Yeah, well,
Or a UH?
then Nordic. Like it's different pronunciations and such. But it's an EA Originals game.
Hold on. I refuse to buy any EA games because they're loot box horrible people. That's what the comments are.
I actually found this out. EA doesn't profit from them at all. EA doesn't make any profit from EA Originals. It's just them helping a dev team that they like with a game that usually the way that it's happened is that the game has already existed and then EA's found it and been like, well, we'll help you publish this. We'll fly you out to do marketing stuff. EA does not profit from it whatsoever and doesn't have a lot of say in what the game
But
is.
hold on. Before we get into Fate, I want to. Who told you this? Because why else would EA do it if they have no monetary interest in it?
One of the co-founders of Zoin Games, the guy who created Faye.
No, but the EA Originals program,
Yeah.
I mean, goodwill, maybe? Good faith?
EA and
That would
they
make
are making
sense.
100% of the profit from the game.
Well, that's great.
Yeah. Which
Yeah.
is
think
like
they'd wanna-
because it's like, why doesn't EA talk about that
So, yeah,
publicly all the time?
Yeah.
You think
I feel
they want to publicize that?
They
That's
don't.
that's a great marketing message,
Right?
And I imagine they recoup like expenses, right?
No, well,
Cost of
they-
marketing.
they-
Oh, sure.
And then
And
after
so
that,
I
all
asked-
proceeds go to.
It's proceeds is what he said, 100% of the proceeds. But I asked like them, why did they do it? And he said their reasoning is when they pitch it is like, oh, we just want to work with more creatives. And it's like, I think it's could be in part like recruitment, but I imagine a lot of it's supposed to be good PR. But then it's like, why aren't you telling people that it's
Right. I mean, maybe it's kind of like
don't do that?
like IGN Unfiltered. Nobody watches it, but we do it because
Watch
because
Unfiltered. It's
because
really
it's good,
Yeah.
and it's we like it.
I mean, you got to do one for you, right? One for you. One
Well,
for them.
exactly. Yeah, totally. Because so this is the second EA original that we'll be releasing. The first was Unravel. Gosh, was that 2 years ago
Yeah,
already?
2 years.
My goodness, which
Oh, he's
was
so cute.
an excellent game.
Yeah,
Other than that, not a good last level. Let's be
Yeah.
honest. But that didn't take away from the fact that that was a fantastic game, and we do have Unravel 2 on the way. But yeah, so Faye, what I suspect a lot of people might not even remember it necessarily because it's been. I think it showed up at E3, but it's it's one of those games where I don't think it really made it to the top of people's awareness pile.
Yeah, it's also, I think, probably a hard game for them to show off in trailers. A lot of people thought that it was Ori related because the art style, it pastely, glowy colors, so it kind of looks like Ori. But it is kind of a mix between like a Metroidvania, a little bit of Ori, Zelda, and Shadow of the Colossus.
Go
There's
on.
like a lot of great games all in one, and it's hard to explain because I only playing the first like 45 minutes or so. I don't know what the end game looks like, and I'm very curious about whether it's good or not. Like it's very hard to say at the early stage. It's supposed to be about 6 hours long, but you start off, you're this little fox-like creature named Faye who gets dropped into this forest that's. It's scary.
I love we're just straight retconning the name. Like, sorry, it's not Faye anymore. It's just Faye. We're just going
That's
with
what I've
that.
always heard it as.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
Shorthand.
feel bad.
It's really pretty. It's also kind of scary, and you can't do a lot of things, and you have to communicate with other animals in the forest in order to be able to do them.
By like sound, right?
Right. You sing to them is what the mechanic is, and that is on an Xbox controller. Is just like walk up to them really slowly because a lot of them will run away from you. So you have to like approach them slowly and then start singing is hold down the controller, and then when they'll like engage
Hold on
with
the
you.
trigger. The
Yes,
trigger.
sorry.
Yeah.
And there'll be a little line that like looks like puzzles in tons of other games where it's just like I don't know how to describe that. Like a shaky line.
Like a
that then-
sine wave thing.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
you hold it down at the right kind of spot and it straightens out, and then you
Okay.
like make a connection and it activates them, so then they're your companion now. And the first one you get is a deer, which once you've made the bond with it, you can ride it, but you can also use it it can sing to a certain kind of plant in the forest that you
So
can't.
the fox rides the deer.
Yeah, the fox rides.
That's real cute.
Yeah.
That sounds like the opening to a children's story, doesn't it?
Well, that's what it kind of feels like.
Yeah?
It feels like a beautiful children's book, but it's also scary because you don't have there's no combat. You have to hide from these enemies that as soon as they see you will lock you in a sort of cage. And it's all really beautiful. The Shadow of the Colossus thing is because one of the I don't even know how to talk about this game because there's so much to it. I said this to you when I was writing.
You wrote a preview.
But it's hard because even then I was like, which part do I talk about in which order? Because
Yeah.
it's so big.
Yeah.
So you make friends with all of these animals who give you different abilities and like let you traverse the open world, and you have to have a certain one of them to be able to get somewhere. And the map is supposed to like really double back on itself as you come around. I think there was like 7, maybe more different biomes. So
cool.
there's like a swampy kind of area that has like lizards as the main creature there.
Right.
And I guess the first one would be the deer. And there's this giant tree that's kind of like the Deku tree that you collect these shards when you're like walking around all the different levels, and you unlock abilities. So you can get the ability to glide or the ability to climb trees, which will let you get to other areas or to escape enemies and stuff like that. And the story is, I don't know entirely at this point, but it seems to be that there are these enemy creatures called the Silent Ones that are infiltrating the areas and trying to lock the animals up like a zoo. So the part that feels like Shadow of the Colossus is there's this huge deer who's chained up, and you have to like climb on top of the deer and like cut off all of its shackles basically to free it.
Yeah.
Which is really pretty. And the same thing happens with a lot of them. There's also these little helmets you can find in the open world that you put on, and it feels like a VR helmet kind of, but you can walk around in it and it tells you little glimpses of the story. But there's no dialogue at all. And there's only a couple of cutscenes. Most of it's all interactive storytelling. So it's just, yeah, it's hard to explain, but it's very, very, very beautiful. And I love the start of it. I guess I'm worried that late game, there won't be enough progression, maybe.
Yeah.
Or the systems won't change as much as they have promised. Like I don't have any reason to worry about that. It's just that I don't know ultimately. So
A compelling crockpot of classic gameplay, says IGN.com.
you definitely wouldn't say that about Faye. it's a meditative
Like, it's-
experience.
It's
It sounds
pleasant.
like this metaphor for something, and I can't wait till like GDC 2019 where
Right.
we like hear them give the talk about what it relates to and what it means.
Yeah, probably. It is a really beautiful, peaceful game that I felt the same way that I felt playing probably Journey, is that you feel kind of sleepy. You're like, I really enjoy this and it's very pretty, but also I would like to take a nap.
Kind of meditative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also
I love
pretty
hearing that. All right. So Faye, and that is out this month at some point.
I think the 16th.
Late coming that soon.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's coming up pretty quick. So keep your eye out for Faye on Xbox.
Yeah, I thought it was next month.
I guess we
but
don't
I
have
guess
to
it is February.
Yeah.
Well, it's probably best that it's this month because there's also a bunch of stuff next month.
Yes.
too.
Yeah.
Next month's going to be
Start
very,
of the
very
season
busy.
already crazy.
Here we go. Not coming out next month, but it's going to have a big, big effect on everything else. That is Red Dead Redemption 2 getting what would probably seem to be a final release date, October 26th, 2018.
No.
Technically got a delay.
Yes. Yeah, because it went from spring to October, which is
Not sp-
maybe, I don't know, maybe that's spring in Australia.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
It's not delayed at all.
They were just talking about Australia.
That was the secret the whole time.
That makes
So,
sense.
Brandon, if you are another publisher,
Waking up in a cold sweat.
you head for Z Hills, yes?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, not only is this game going to basically own the end of October, but it's going to own the entire holiday season. I mean,
Yep.
GTA is one of those games where you buy and then there are people still playing GTA 5 like
Yes.
every single day. It's one of those games where you pick it up and you play it for months.
Right. But, Red Dead is not GTA.
Sure.
It never was, and I'm pretty confident saying it never will be because nothing will ever be GTA. But the fact of the matter is, the Red Dead's stature has only grown
Yeah.
in years. Red Dead Redemption was kind of came out of nowhere because Red Dead Revolver was a game that no one really, it didn't really kind of break through the cultural zeitgeist. But then Redemption came around and it was a brilliant game, and its legend has grown, and now
It's also just that it's a Rockstar game. Like,
Yeah.
I think
And
that's
that's where I
such
was
an
going.
impressive juggernaut, that they can publish a game in October and everyone else is going to be like, oh, no. Like, I think it could be anything at this point. It'd be like, Bully 2. And, like, the fact that I love that Rockstar made Bully work and that, like, if you pitch that to me and you're like, it's a high school game, you go to class and you get in trouble if you're out late, I'd be like, pfft. And then I played it and I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like they just, well, the one delay that we have is Anthem. That was supposed to come out this year, was pushed to 2019.
I don't believe that.
Surprisingly.
And they
we talked about
said,
that last
that we're not sure that even happened, but they did say they wanted it to come out in a time of year with less competition. That's not the exact quote, but that's basically what they said. And it's like, was that a reaction to Red Dead? Did they know that happened
Maybe.
the day before?
You never know.
Yeah.
But yeah, the thing is, this is the first proper full Rockstar release in 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard
Since
to believe
GTA 5
was
in
5 years ago.
September of 2013. So 5 full years. I mean, because then
Yeah,
they've,
but to be
they've
fair,
done
they did
online
the
and
the
then-
first person PC.
Right, the re-release on the new gen version
port,
on
yeah.
PS4 and Xbox One, and then the PC version. But first new game from Rockstar
Yeah.
in 5 years.
And what a testament to that company that they only have to release a game every 5-6
well, when you
years.
sell 50 million copies,
It's
you
not
can
even the 50 million copies, it's the $500 million worth of shot cards. Like, they're
too.
they're fine. Like,
Yeah.
they're all
Gotta
good.
like
They're
that
going to
one
be
still.
okay.
Yeah.
So
And yet we're all still waiting for table tennis too.
I know, right? So and you're talking about a lot of the. It could be anything. It could be Bully, but it's not just anything. Red Dead is, I think, pretty solidly their second biggest IP.
Yeah.
It's number one, and then everything else. But Red Dead
Yeah.
is
Sitting on
very
top of
much
that
at the
pile
top
for
of
sure.
that
I mean, they're the
pile.
only two IPs they have that I consider active.
Yeah.
Max
Which
Payne
is-
seems dormant,
Right?
Midnight Club seems dormant.
Bully.
Rockstar Table Tennis seems
Well, I
dormant.
mean, come on. It's not a franchise. It was a
Yes,
it was
Bully
a proof
is-
of concept.
Yeah, Bully seems dormant as well. So
It's kind of nice that we have something for fall, like definitively have a date.
Yeah.
But I'm really bummed that it's in fall. Because the nice thing about Zelda coming out so early last year was that I got to play it the entire year. and like just play it over summer, which is like, kind of a dry season to catch up on other games from like the previous year or just whenever. And having this move to October is okay, but that means everything else that's coming out this season is just going to be pushed out of the way for Red Dead, which is good for them, but bad for, I guess, people like me that like to play as much as possible. And then
Also, we just think about things so differently, and that like,
Yeah.
oh, well, I definitely need to play this game because we're going to be talking about it for months. So
Yeah.
I need, and I wanted to anyway, obviously. But you think about like, okay, how am I going to fit everything else in that comes
Right.
out around that period of time?
like
as
just
well?
knowing how much time I've spent in GTA 5, like, and then looking at Red Dead, it's like, well,
Yeah, I've gotten
all right, we'll make time for the
Buckle
game
up.
somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not surprised it was delayed again though, because we've
Yeah.
ultimately seen very little of it. We got the trailer, we've got the screenshots, but it would be super weird if it had have launched before June. I think I would have been surprised.
Yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of us were maybe hoping, optimistic for May, but that did not happen. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. You want it to be polished. You want it to be as good as it can possibly be. So
You want that PUBG mode that's been rumored to make sure it works, Get that Battle Royale.
Wow.
But seriously, that'd be so good in Red Dead Online. A Battle Royale mode in the Wild West.
who knows? The thing, like, I was going to do this story later. I forget. Yeah, I don't even know if we'll get to it, depending on if we time. The short version is there's a Battle Royale game that was announced this week, and just buckle up.
one?
Everybody is going to be doing this now. The same way that after Bungie did Firefight and ODST right at about the same time that Epic did Horde mode in Gears of War 2. Every game had a Horde mode after that, and so now we're already starting to see it. Battle Royale is the new thing. You're going to see it in every single big game now. I'll bet you Call of Duty is going to have a Battle Royale mode within a year or two. I'll bet Battlefield has one. I'll bet Battlefront 3 has
Give them
it.
the idea. Don't give them the idea, please.
It's already done.
Breaking
it's
Battlefield
like
delayed for hot new game mode.
It's the weird thing, right? Because like for a long time, people were trying to break into the MOBAs. Like, oh, League is so popular, and Dota's so popular, let's do MOBAs. And then Overwatch came, and all these hero shooters came. Like, okay, everyone's gotta have a hero shooter. And then now it's like, oh, Battle Royale.
The 4v1 thing was the same thing with Evolve and Fable Legends.
Yeah,
and
that
one
fizzled fast.
Failed,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And there was the BioWare game Shadow Realms, I think it might have been called.
I believe you have that correct.
Yeah, that's a weird thing for me to remember. That game didn't even see the light of day, and it's like this
Fable
one worked,
Legends
so-
got canceled.
right? And everyone's just like, okay, let's do this. It's actually
really wanna see,
servers
like-
are offline for Evolve now. I think
Oh yeah,
Stop
Turtle
supporting
Rock closed them down. I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
it's crazy.
They were like, "Thank you, it's been a great ride, but we got to go do it."
I'd love to see the trends of these, like what trends happened when, how many games come
Yeah.
out, how many were actually successful, and how many are actually still running now.
I think the mobile market would be really interesting to watch that on. Like
Yeah.
how different trends are in mobile gaming to what they are in the games we know better. It's like I think
But,
that would
They're incredibly different too.
Yeah.
Like the mobile market has almost no correlation with the console market.
be Wild West.
Yeah. So we did we put together a half tongue in cheek, but also also pretty serious feature of how terrified the other publishers should be on like on random scales.
Yeah, that's right.
And I mean, you look at the two big games that always come out at around the end of October are
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty.
a dice game, be it Battlefront or Battlefield, and this year is a Battlefield year. And then you have Call of Duty is first week in November.
Yep.
They I think are one of the few games that can withstand this because Call of Duty, Rockstar games, Madden, FIFA are the kinds of games where the people that only buy 3 or 4 games a year,
Sure.
We'll
That's
buy
one
them.
of them.
they're gonna buy it.
Yeah.
They're not gonna be affected.
There are
but-
definitely people who only buy FIFA, Call of Duty, and Grand Theft Auto, and I wonder
Yes.
if Red Dead would fit in there. Probably not.
I think that it's going to be. Well, let's just do it this way. So over 50 million sales for Grand Theft Auto lifetime, Grand Theft Auto 5. First year, what do you guys? So first count. Let's say through 2019. So I'll give you a year and 2 months. I'll give you 14 months. How many copies does Red Dead Redemption 2 sell? Bear in mind, there is no PC version announced. The PC version of 5 didn't come for like 14 months though. So I guess it's pretty much an apples to apples comparison.
So what's the time frame we're guessing in?
A year.
Because
14 months.
Didn't GTA also have the 360 and then the Xbox One launch in the same?
Yeah.
12-month
That was a
period?
year
Yeah.
later. It was.
That was
it
over
was
12 months?
actually no. That was 14 months later because it was September 2013 for the initial 360 PS3 release, and then it was November for the PS4 Xbox One release, and the following April for the PC release.
Gotcha.
So pretty apples to apples here. What do you guys think?
10 million.
10?
Yeah.
I'd say 8.
8.
9.
All right. Well,
Yeah, I knew you were gonna price this
so
right.
I'm gonna price.
8.1.
I'm gonna price this right. I'll just take 11 and beat all of you
All right.
very easily.
No.
I think in the first year we saw
How much did GTA sell?
well, it's 50 million, but over that's been over like 4 or 5.
Yeah,
almost
I wonder
5
what
years
it
now.
was in the first year. And granted, it's a bigger
Well,
property.
in the first day, they had outsold like every other game.
They did $1
made.
billion
Yeah.
in a day. Yeah,
And then the first
However
3
many.
days, it was some insane amount. Like they broke a bunch of records.
But the thing is, yeah, I mean, Red Dead's not as big as
Red
GTA,
Dead's not going to
but
break those records.
but I do think that Red Dead, is gonna. I think it will eventually get to. I think it'll hit 25. It eventually. I don't know how long that'll take, but if GTA is at 50, Red Dead is. It's on that trajectory where that is its star is rising.
Yeah.
So I think it'll hit 25 at some point. But
I mean, it's a fairly young franchise too. Like this is the second game in the series, right? And it's weird. Well, I mean, from
second Rockstar
from
game.
Revolver, yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
from Redemption to Redemption 2, and it's weird. Like you're right, it does sort of have this like weird myth, legendary status to it now for only having one game. That's incredible.
Yeah.
I think Bethesda, if they're planning anything for the fall, they should get the hell out of fall.
Yeah.
Which
What
I
if-
think.
But what if it's Morrowind? Skyrim
No.
2.
I can't. I can't imagine.
But like what if
If it's a
what
Todd
if
Howard
it's
game.
Elder Scrolls? Then they're like,
I think that could do all right.
No, that would be fine.
I think so too.
Yeah,
Could
that's
stand on
one.
its
Of,
own
that's
wall.
that's on the short
Because
list.
just in my head, the next Elder Scrolls game is Morrowind. So I don't know. I've just decided it's going
Got
to
to
be
go back.
Morrowind. Yeah.
I like that Steve Jobs reality distortion field where you just will that into existence.
Yeah, it's Morrowind.
Yeah.
I'm not going to refer to it as the
Good
next
to know.
Elder Scrolls. Well, Skyrim 2 is easier to say because some people don't know what Elder Scrolls is.
I mean,
legitimately.
That is, it's not out of the realm of possibility because Fallout 4 was 2015. So this is now 3 years, and we're on the same.
I would think it's
hardware
probably
generation.
next year, but
It was 3 years between most of the Todd Howard team
Yeah.
games until they had to cross the generation. Then I think it was 4 years. It was 2011 for Skyrim, and then
Skyrim,
moving to the new
Fallout.
generation 4 years
Yeah.
to Fallout 4. So it could be 3. It's not impossible for that.
Yeah, and they're
But-
kind of more known to release sooner than
Yeah.
later if they announce it. So
Announced
Yeah.
6 months later.
But we have been talking about like anything that's not Fallout or Elder Scrolls has Bethesda keeps doing Q4 and it seemingly keeps going
they
badly.
wouldn't. Like, Dishonored,
Dishonored,
2,
Yeah, for-
Wolfenstein,
hashtag Game of the Year.
yeah.
Like
Evil
it's-
Within.
If any of those games had been in February, like they would have been so much better off. Like so many people missed out on Wolfenstein because they're competing with Call of Duty, and it's like,
Yeah.
just don't do that. These games are so good. Why
Yeah,
do they
so
keep doing it?
I feel
Well,
like
I mean, to be fair, like spring of last year was a rough time to release.
but it's
it
not
as well.
Call of
Yeah.
Duty rough, you know? Like
I mean, it's Zelda. rough.
Zelda.
that is
so-
true.
Like,
yeah,
well,
I mean,
but-
And that's
totally
also-
Horizon and
with getting a new system too, like even
Yeah.
though it was on Wii U, but let's
that's
come on.
No one cares.
Come on.
yeah.
but, come
let's
on.
be real.
I admire your candor.
Yeah.
By the way, it turns out Nintendo never released the Wii U version, and no one noticed.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
See,
that-
you
is that-
you guys
is that-
believe
is
me.
that
Wait a
true?
minute. No,
You
he's
guys
lying.
I was
totally
like,
believe me.
no.
I
That's
totally
how,
played it on Wii U.
that's
Yeah,
how
I'm gonna say we've seen it.
low impact the Wii U was. You all just believe me when
Yeah,
I
I
said
did
that.
okay.
I remember seeing copies of it, and I was just like, "Wow, Wii U copy of Zelda." Wonder what
Remember
you
that
were a
game
few
that
years
was
ago.
when it was called Zelda Wii U? Remember that?
Yeah.
Like people were like, "There's going to be a Zelda on the Wii U." I'm waiting for that to
That
come out
was
so I
me.
buy it.
I was waiting to buy Zelda and to get a Wii U. I was like, "Oh, there's games I want, but not as much as Zelda. I'll wait till Zelda's out." Never came out.
So,
And then it turns out the Switch is the best
first party
investment.
Nintendo game
Yeah.
would also be a thing that could probably compete.
Yes. I think, quite
Smash.
frankly, I think Microsoft should probably get the hell out of Red Dead's way.
Even if it is
Major first party stuff.
Crackdown or
Even if it is
maybe
Halo
even
6.
Halo 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they announce Halo 6 at E3 2018, is that the year it is? Yes, it
Yes.
is. And then release it in the fall, like I still would worry about that.
I think
would worry about Halo.
might be okay, but it's smarter to push it if you can. You know.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
It's not near the end of October.
coming after 5, I don't think like there's a lot of good faith in the series. It's been so long until you've
Not
had
on the
that
single
like,
player side. There is
Yeah.
on the multiplayer.
Right.
Yeah,
The multiplayer is
absolutely,
incredible.
absolutely.
There's still so much Halo loyalty that like I think a lot of people will buy it anyway.
That's
Well,
the only thing I think would
yeah.
carry it through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about this before, but I still remain of the belief that Halo 6 will come out this year because we're on the 3-year cycle. A lot of people seem convinced.
I think it'll be next year.
That there are a couple. There was that 343 blog post that was vague, where people think it's not going to be this year, and the fact that they didn't tease it this year, they always tease it like the E3 before. So we'll see. But I mean, why not? Microsoft's always done Halo in Q4, September, October, or November. Why not put Halo 6 out in March or February and see what happens?
August even?
You can
He's so
still
weird.
make a big deal out of it, and it's I mean, we'll see what happens with that. But so definitely some publishers probably need to get the heck out of Red Dead's way, and a few major pillar IPs probably can hang tough.
Yeah. It's
First-
interesting.
The first few weeks of November are just like gone. Like don't put anything out there.
Yeah.
I just love this. Like, I love the fact that Rockstar is such a big company that, they don't need to reveal a game with any of the games media because the New York Times will do it for them. It's like they're the only one that's like, that just, man, such an impressive company. And I feel like the name Rockstar is very fitting of how much
And
Rockstar.
just sort of tangential thing to this conversation that just occurred to me. Rockstar games are taking so much longer now. I mean, GTA 5 took a long time. Red Dead Redemption 2 is taking a long time. And because you've seen, like, if you look at the credits of GTA, and before that, even Max Payne 3, they're moving to a thing kind of like Ubisoft, but even to a much more of an extreme, where the entire company,
World.
all of Rockstar, works on one game at a time. Like, they seemingly don't have 4 games in development at a time. Like, it's like everyone, that whole company's pushing on Red Dead right now, just as they did for GTA before that. So I wonder.
It'd be interesting for Take-Two.
Yeah,
They have 2K who puts out games annually,
Right.
and then they have these 2 very different companies that they publish for.
but they complement each other, right? Because
Yeah,
you
they
have
really, really
you have
do.
WWE and NBA 2K that sell
It's a
a
sta-
good 5+ million clockwork
Yeah.
every year. Count on it. Put that money in the bank. But then you get that event moment with Rockstar every 5 years, I
Yeah.
guess, at this point. But it's literally a cultural event. And that is your company that gets to do that.
So cool.
So the thing I was driving at is I wonder if, because Rockstar, they're all aligning, like they're all getting behind one game at a time, you got to figure that after Red Dead 2, GTA 6 is next. It has to be. And it's going to take a lot of time to get there.
But I don't think that's going to happen.
Right, but that's my point is I wonder if we're going now, if Rockstar is going to become a 2 IP studio. If they're just going to go back and forth every 5 years, here's a GTA, 5 years later, here's a Red Dead, 5 years later, here's GTA, each of them with living online components. Right? I mean, that's their expertise.
Yeah, it's sort of like
makes a ton of sense, right?
It's kind of the Bethesda structure. I know that they
On
have,
a much bigger
they
scale.
have multiple games that sort of subsidize the year for them, but Skyrim or Elder Scrolls and Fallout.
Yep.
And with Rockstar, it's definitely Red Dead and GTA.
Yeah.
And like if you can sustain yourself for 5 years between titles, perfect.
Man,
With shark cards, you can do that.
Yeah. I hope not, though, because they're such a talented studio and they have the potential to make such awesome stuff.
I agree with that.
I would say I totally agree. Like, I don't like seeing studios just get pinned with just those few IPs, even though they do such great jobs with them and they're incredible games. It's like I just want to see what else you can do.
Yeah.
I think
like,
they're
you're so
incredible
incredible at
games.
that
Yeah, I think they're incredible games because you can do that though. Because like they take the 5 years to polish and iterate and repolish and repolish.
That's right. So they could make almost any game incredible, like with that 5-year thing. But you're totally right that if everyone's working on the one thing, like it's so much harder to pitch to Take-Two to be like, hey, we're going to make a game you've never heard of. New IP, it's going to take us 5 years. And they're going to be like,
so
what?
Yeah.
No, make GTA, obviously.
Now, of course, and don't get me wrong.
interesting.
I'm not suggesting.
Obviously.
I'm not suggesting that GTA 6 isn't already in pre-production at
for
Rockstar.
sure.
Yeah.
It definitely, absolutely is. But the company at large, like all those support studios, are all pushing towards finishing up and polishing up.
I
Red
feel
Dead
like I
right
would be
now.
cool with GTA something, GTA something, GTA something. So it's not, they don't have to
it's
just
not
Red
just
Dead.
Red
I
Dead.
like that.
That's
I mean, that would.
that's a good option.
I feel like I would
Sure.
prefer that. Like I love Red Dead, but like I get them not wanting to budge on GTA, and I
Yeah.
I
But and who's going to complain about one landmark Grand Theft Auto game every 5 years.
Right.
No, there's no oversaturation.
Someone
going on
will.
at that point.
Yeah.
But I agree. Like Red Dead, is the off one, and then we get another GTA, and then maybe Bully
Max
2,
Payne
or
4.
Max Payne 4, or Table Tennis 2,
Or a new IP.
or a new IP. Yeah,
They could probably make a killer pirate game.
I would love for like big studios to do sort of. Oh yeah, I mean, gosh,
You don't even.
it
that's-
just hit my brain as I was talking.
You can kind of
Sounds
say
awesome.
anything though. Like they could make a sweet space game, and
Yeah.
every time you're just like,
Like,
You know what?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah.
No,
They
actually,
could.
no. You know what? My brain rejects that.
you don't like
I
a
don't-
Rockstar
You like
space
There are
game?
too
Sci-fi?
many effing space games. I don't want Rockstar to make one.
Okay, well
We
then they'll
have
make the fantasy game
enough
for
of
you.
those.
I mean, yeah, it may as well just
Rockstar
be
with
Saints Row
swords.
4, really. That could be the
Yeah.
It's like budget Rockstar space game.
I would love to see awesome marquee AAA developers like Rockstar do sort of what Ubisoft did with like Reflections, where you have a cool little house that just puts out sweet little games every once in a while, like Grow Up and Grow Home. And
Talk about Ubisoft a lot, and how Ubisoft made Child of Light and Valiant Hearts.
Valiant Hearts.
And
Yeah.
both of those were awesome, and I wish that they
Yeah.
would bring Ubisoft back. And I guess that's what EA Originals is.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
I don't see Rockstar
I would,
doing that.
I would love to see the Rockstar Originals or the Rockstar Arts.
Yeah, it'd be kind of cool to see them champion like individuals on their teams, just saying, "Hey, do this other thing on the side that you'd really want to do."
I kind of feel like I want big open world games from them though. Like I
For sure, and you
Well,
have
What
that.
about
for-
both?
yeah,
though?
Rockstar's entire their ethos is they make cultural
landmark
events
Yeah,
that have something to say.
Yeah,
Their
like-
games always have something
It's
to
crazy
say.
because they do it without even marketing them. Like, until
know.
like it's launched, when you see the posters on buses everywhere, they're like, not talking about it. Hey, we changed our logo to a red R, and everyone's like, oh my god!
what could it mean?
They just posted an image that's just the same thing, and
Yeah.
everyone's crying. Like,
Yeah.
it's just, they don't even have to. They're like, hey, what if we just open it up in Paint and we change the yellow to red? All right, yeah. And then everyone's just like freaking out, and they're
I
like,
feel
"Oh,
like
well,
they could
our
tweet
work
just
is
like
done."
this emoji, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's coming! What does it mean?"
They tweet a pill
I mean,
emoji.
that's-
Everyone's like, Max Payne!
That's the thing. Like, while I agree in principle that it would be cool to see Rockstar sort of incubate a little like indie portfolio,
I don't ever see that happening.
Their
I totally agree.
their brand has a power that you can't buy it. Like any, Microsoft,
Their games
Sony,
affect the economy.
right? Ubisoft, EA, all of them would kill for
Yeah.
the kind of brand equity and power that Rockstar has. And the only way to maintain that is to make sure that each game is a monolithic cultural
That's fair.
event that has something significant to say and does
I was
so
gonna say,
in
I
a
feel
big
like
way.
Rockstar makes me proud, like to be in this industry in a way that's like, this is, you all know what this
Yeah.
is. Like everyone in the world knows what GTA is, and like that's a thing that it's like, oh, you review games, Grand Theft Auto, huh? And I'll be like, yes. But then thinking about it,
common
people are
ground.
like, oh, you kill hookers, and I'm like, no, damn it. It's like,
Well, that's just
not the
one
point.
thing.
I had an argument. I was on Huffington Post Live, and I was arguing with
no.
3 women who had never played Grand Theft Auto about why Grand Theft Auto should be banned. And that's like a mainstream. I don't even know what political alignment the show would be, but it was just,
Well, Huffington Post tends to lean pretty left.
yeah. But it was definitely 3 feminist women who were just so aggressively against GTA existing, and I was the only one who had played it and liked it, and was just completely like, I disagree with everything that you are saying on this game. You should definitely play it. And they're like, there's no female character. I'm like, well, it's a game about masculinity. I think that's what the story. It was just the hardest thing I've ever had to do to be like, let me defend this game, and here's how much money it's made. They're like, yeah, because you can kill hookers. I'm like, God, so much more than that.
You don't have to do that.
Deviate from your programming for 2 seconds.
It was really hard. But
Talking
also
point.
still cool that that's a thing that is spoken about on Huffington Post Live. Like that's crazy. It's so impressive that we have that one thing that just has destroyed every other entertainment industry.
Yeah,
By a
I
mile.
mean, the only other way to achieve that kind of cultural impact is to make a role-playing game where you can have sex with aliens, and you can get on Fox News all day.
They get on Fox.
Oh, the Mass Effect was
Really?
that was a big like
Oh,
thing
I
for a while.
remember
The
that.
whole like doing it with aliens.
Wow.
Yeah,
was the
that's the
whole thing.
leading
What are they worried about?
excuse.
I mean, forget. This is not the forum for that.
Yeah.
but
I really didn't meet Garrus.
We'll take it to the
the point is,
Fine
Like
with
then
it.
you'd be in love. and
Rockstar is a
you'd
big
be
deal.
Congratulations, you found someone.
Do you know
or
Tali?
something.
No, but-
Seen
I
him
mean,
dance?
But what it's what I hope Red Dead is able to carry that Rockstar torch, because Rockstar, I so appreciate that they do everything that they can in order to support to sort of champion games as art.
Right.
As this is their whole. It's like their whole goal is to prove every naysayer wrong that video games aren't as culturally.
every internet think piece.
That's the thing, and it's like I hate that people grab the small thing about killing hookers, but it's like I think GTA is a very good story. I think Max Payne is like about someone who's fragile and depressed and an alcoholic and a drug addict, but it's still this beautiful story that's so well acted that they. Yeah. I mean,
it's a
Voiced
problem
by
is that
James
we do just a
McCaffrey.
Rockstar
Just like to
podcast?
point that out. Max Payne's voice actor.
your son.
Yeah, my dad.
He might be older than you.
God, if your son looks like
son,
Max
Jimmy.
Payne, we need to talk about your parenting style.
I've gone horribly wrong. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I think it is sad that people latch on like the one thing that is the big negative. Of
Yeah,
something
What's
that's really
going to be
popular.
the hooker moment in Red Dead 2?
Probably the hooker moment, to be honest.
I don't know, maybe like there's a woman who gets tied to train tracks or something.
So that happened already, and I remember reading a think piece about like it's promoting violence against women. It's like, well,
yeah.
I don't agree. I don't think that's the right take to take away from that. But
Especially
every year or every
Red
release
Dead had
happens.
really strong female characters, and I don't doubt Red Dead 2 will as well. Like incredibly strong.
Sure.
Even GTA did. Yes, she got killed by a plane, but she was badass.
Yeah, I actually,
Still
I
there.
think, I think it is my opinion that the Hauser brothers they're almost, I think they're like the video game version, the video game industry's version of Matt Stone and Trey Parker in that very smart, creative leads who are deftly skilled at satiring all sides.
Yeah.
You know, if you asked me, like, if you asked me to look at any Rockstar game or all of them together and say, are the Hauser brothers conservative or liberal? I'd be like, I have no idea.
I think they
knows?
burn everything equally. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I think it's such a difficult thing to do, and
That's what-
Matt and Trey have done it so well for the
Right.
last 20 plus years, and I think the Hausers are amazing at
That's
that
just
too.
one of the things that make it so enjoyable too. It's like makes fun of everything. Like nothing is off limits, and it's just done really well. I think for the most part tastefully. I mean,
I think
like
so.
the way they handle a lot of issues are well done.
I love GTA 5 so much that I don't know if I can even look at it objectively and be like, this is wrong with it. But I feel like there's nothing in it that like I think is out of bounds. Like I don't know though. Like
Yeah.
I could just completely ignore it because I like it so much.
Let's go.
Well,
play
that's the thing is
GTA
it-
5.
Hey,
Let's
well,
just stop the
whatever.
show right
We
now.
love GTA
Let's do a
5.
Rockstar podcast and we just talk about this for a whole hour. Like we should do like a one-off episode when Red Dead, like a couple when Red Dead
Yeah, we
comes out. We
will.
could do 2 episodes a week for a bit, like just so we can talk about that. So everyone's
or
like, what
I
about
feel
the
like
rest?
I mean, that
feel
is a
like there's
thing
a
that's
lot.
happened here.
there's a lot of content to make for 5 years between Rockstar.
Yeah,
games.
or riffing off of our idea where we want to do this show in Sea of Thieves.
Yeah.
Well, in October, let's do this show inside of Red Dead Online.
I love it.
Let's go rob some banks.
Yeah.
I love that.
Let's do it.
Do you think that
ready.
we would like Sea of Thieves? I think we could do fairly easily. Like how brutal do you think it would be doing Red Dead 2 whilst also having this list of notes that you have, Ryan, and delivering them?
Yeah, I mean,
we could do it.
we got to point 1 today.
I think it'd be fun to try.
Another one
Let's
off.
put it that way.
All right, we can give
Scratch
it.
I think it'd be it's you're right. Sea of Thieves is a bit mellower than I think it's, even though we haven't played Red Dead, I think it's fair to say Sea of Thieves is a bit more of a mellow
like herd
experience.
cattle or something.
Yeah. Why not just ride out on the range?
Yeah, do something chill. Yeah.
We're all getting
happen.
a wagon together.
All right.
Hang out.
Now we'll just wait for GameSpot to steal that idea. And, all right.
Our
PUBG.
enemies at GameSpot, Mr. Kelly.
PUBG, if you have not yet jumped in on that one, and you maybe don't even have an Xbox, in which case I'm not sure why you're watching this or listening to this.
welcome.
But no, I know those people do exist. There are plenty of people that say,
people tweet
hey,
us.
love you guys.
Entertainment, yeah.
Yeah, if you're tempted by PUBG, you want to play it on a console, you can get it for free now as part of a console bundle, an Xbox One S, a 1 terabyte bundle, which let's just discontinue the 500 gigs.
Yeah, for real.
Just 1 terabyte is the minimum required amount these days with all the everything being so digital. But
So like during the 1X review, like that hard drive filled up fast.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because on purpose, you're packing it with stuff.
Yeah, also, but I mean, Forza was like 100 gigs.
Yeah.
So
Master Chief Collection's more than that.
Is it really?
I think it's.
Oh
it's a
man,
lot.
I just re-downloaded it on my X the other night because I had it on Xbox One and I re-downloaded it on X and
And then
Yeah.
I
Comcast.
was like, hey, why
Find
don't
you.
we play Halo 1? It was like, oh no.
oh, that's
Oh,
why.
give me 2 days.
But yeah, so $300 will get you an Xbox One S with a 1 terabyte hard drive. You'll also get a month of Xbox Game Pass and a copy of PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, as well as a 14-day Xbox Live Gold trial. So everything you need to play PUBG for 2 weeks, and then it's up to you to continue your Gold subscription if you want. I mean, again, it clearly hasn't hurt Microsoft at all, but I think it's just my old school, old-fashioned brain that breaks a little bit at the idea of a game being bundled with a beta. With just
It's
this
so
game's not
strange,
done,
but
but we're bundling an unfinished game.
Yeah, but it's PUBG.
Yeah,
so.
we're talking about cultural zeitgeist, right? And like outside of Rockstar, is there a game that had more of an impact last year? You know,
Certainly not.
Well, it's also even in GameStops, they're selling the codes in a case just because people want the disc for it.
they want-
it
yeah.
doesn't exist yet.
Yeah.
It's like
so crazy.
I get that it's weird, but I also totally understand why they're doing it.
Yeah. Now, what I found interesting about this is out February 20th, if you happen to be interested in it. February 20th, let's see. 1 month Game Pass trial. All
What could it mean?
first party games are now going into Game Pass on day one. Sea of Thieves is out on March 20th.
You
It's
dastardly
as
marketers.
if they want you to get hooked and then have right as your trial subscription is running out.
I would have done it.
Here's Sea of Thieves.
yeah.
Give us more money.
Smart.
There's smart
They're
cookies over there.
super smart, but 1 day for Sea of
Yeah,
Thieves.
because it seems like 1 day's not enough.
Well, but
I don't. I mean, we've only played the beta. Like for me, 1 day was enough with the beta. But
Yeah.
I got to imagine it's a huge like that whole map. If it's loaded with content, I feel like 1 day might just be enough time to like give you that taste, and then you got to
exactly.
pay.
That's the
Yeah, that
so
certainly seems
yeah.
to be the hope.
Aaron Greenberg and those marketing maniacs over at Microsoft. You like that alliteration?
Yeah, it was good.
It's good, right?
That's my favorite Harry Potter book.
They know what's
Aaron Greenberg and the Microsoft marketing maniacs.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my goodness. So pick up your PUBG bundle on February 20th if you are interested in that. Next up, Dying Light, celebrating its 3rd birthday this month with some discounts and announcements. The game's producer, Timon Smektala, says, quote, Dying Light's longevity is a result of the studio's hard work combined with the efforts of our community who have shown unparalleled love for the game and spent countless hours in Haran. We are nothing but thankful for this exceptional commitment and players' eagerness to provide us with constructive feedback that has helped us make a better game.
I really liked that game.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, it
I
came out of
weirdly
nowhere, really.
barely remember
Yeah.
any of it,
It's,
but I really liked it.
What do you? I mean, for people that maybe have only jumped into this generation more recently than 3 years ago, what is
Go
it
inside
about
the
it?
trailer and there's a man in there.
Hardcore.
I remember the guy in here because he gets sick at one point, I think. It's a zombie
Spoiler.
game where like you're all holed up in this hospital, and like any other game, you're getting different people are giving you different objectives. But as you're doing that, the zombies get hotter at night. It's parkour, so a lot of what you do is escaping them. But there's also these like drops that come from the sky that are just like loot boxes that you have to run to every now
You
and
have
then.
to vie for them with enemy AI.
Right, and you can like ignore them if you want to, but it's always a decision-making process. And I thought all the characters were really interesting, and also the plot is fairly interesting from the get-go. But it's also just like the ending level is really hard and just a lot of fun.
It's kind of, I think, is it fair to say, I mean, this is how I characterized it when it was coming out. It's kind of Mirror's Edge meets Left 4 Dead a little bit.
Yeah, with some Dead Island thrown in there if Dead Island was better.
Yeah, it feels very similar to Dead Island. I think
think so too.
excuse me, the feeling of movement is much better in Dying Light.
Absolutely.
And that's this is sort of akin for me to like Sunset Overdrive, where don't particularly care about what's going on, but that game is so fun to just play, you know? Just to sit down and the feels of
Couldn't
it.
tell you the story of Sunset Overdrive now. Everyone
Yeah.
gets infected by energy drinks.
It's
Right.
Yeah.
I don't remember the rest of it.
Then yeah, you spend
that's
the whole
about it.
game
I remember the cheerleaders.
trying to defeat the
guys who are LARPing, I remember them. You have to kill a bunch of
Right?
chickens.
The LARPers.
Oh yeah, I hung out with them.
Yeah, they were
bit.
cool,
Too.
actually.
Yeah,
Breaking into the
I
house was fun.
played the first probably 3 or 4 hours of Dying Light when it came out, and I know it has evolved a lot. They've added a lot of content, and I found out, like I read the IGN review and found out that it's like a 30-hour game.
Yeah.
and I actually bounced.
Is
I
it
was
really?
like, that's
I don't remember putting
It's
30
an
hours in it.
enormous game.
I didn't finish it
which I
either.
know is music to a lot of people's ears, but I was kind of like, I don't want to do this for 30 hours.
Okay, I totally finished it. I do not remember it feeling anywhere near that long, but maybe I missed a bunch of side content.
Maybe.
Like I would have thought that I finished it in 15.
But it is a meaty game.
Big difference.
Yeah. You will get your money's worth out of it. And yeah, I did like it. I guess I just didn't quite hook me enough to want to keep going for
Really
that
did
long.
not realize it was that long.
But yeah, so the one thing out of this is, they're teasing, hey, we're gonna have some discounts to celebrate and some announcements, and I've got to wonder, like, it's Techland that
Yeah.
there's got to be a sequel getting announced soon, right? With how successful this game has
I
been.
hope so, yeah.
I imagine. I mean, it's the most successful thing they've done.
I believe so.
I think that's fair to say.
It's weirdly
Yeah.
kind of been a while since we've had a zombie game.
Also weird, yeah,
State
right?
of K2,
Like,
I guess. Is
That's
I'm about to say,
coming up.
State of
there's
K2 is
some
coming
stuff
up.
coming.
Also, Dead Island 2,
the most-
whatever is happening
That's
with that.
gone.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
Right.
game.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, like we were talking about earlier with trends, as far as game modes or game types, there's definitely trends in content too, and I feel like we're finally past the zombie one.
I don't know.
Hey,
Zombies
Dead Rising
always
4, by the
exist.
way.
Oh, yeah,
They
Dead Rising.
always just come up.
Semi-recent.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Don't we have 2 more zombie stories?
Probably. Oh
I was-
wow.
I was like,
guess
man,
yeah.
I've
The
been,
next
like,
one.
hacking off
The
zombie
next
heads.
two.
Oh, in a row. I didn't
next
even.
two.
I didn't even plan it that way.
That was me giving you a segue. I was like, yeah, we haven't had that many zombie games. And I was hoping you'd be like, well, I'm on it.
Well, I'm not
of.
that smart. I'm not that good of a host.
I didn't read my own script.
Well, I did yesterday, but that was yesterday. I can't be expected to remember yesterday.
Wow, Ryan, it's like you're a zombie.
Zombies have memory, Brandon. That doesn't make sense.
It totally
Wait,
makes
do they have
sense.
memory?
If
Are you
can't all
sure?
be
Yeah,
winners, we got to get a segue.
We're gonna work Brandon into the flow of the show.
Depends on
folks.
the
It's
zombie.
fine. Give him time. Be patient.
Yeah, first one. It's rough. We're smoothing out the edges.
DayZ is finally on its way to Xbox One via Game Preview. The developer replying to an inquiry on that topic on Twitter saying, quote, yes, coming to Xbox Game Preview at some point this year. We're not sure about PS4 yet, but we'll release there too eventually. Just don't know when.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't mean to hate here at all, but is it too little too late for this game as far as an Xbox One release goes?
Look, 1, the hype is obviously dead. Less people care about it. But 2, DayZ is a very fun game that I think will do very well on Game Preview.
Yeah.
And it doesn't necessarily compete with PUBG because the format is different.
Right.
Right.
And what's good about DayZ is still good. Like I think it's weird for them to do this so late, but I think there's probably a lot of people who heard about it on Steam. What was it, 5 years ago?
Yeah,
it was
a
on Steam?
while ago.
People who had heard about it but never played it, who will now
Yeah, that's-
enjoy the hell out of it, and it could like bring it back up. I think this is a good call.
I
Honestly.
totally agree. Like, I think people who were excited about PUBG is just like, oh yeah, my friends were playing this on PC way before me, and now I can get on an Xbox.
Yeah.
And also now DayZ is coming out. My friends loved it before, and now maybe we can all play again. Because
I mean, that could be their exact logic. Is like,
Yeah.
well, the PUBG crowd is probably going to like DayZ, and you can play both because they are different enough.
Yeah, I mean, essentially now that PUBG has created a market for this kind of game on the Xbox or on the console, it's super smart to bring it right over because there is that element of new. Like even if you love PUBG, like eventually you want to try something else, right? And it's in the same vein. So I think it's really intelligent.
Yeah, this
Frame rate even in this gameplay.
I know.
this,
like, oh
boy.
man.
yeah, this PC. This first hit Steam Early Access 5 years ago.
During the big survival, like Rust.
Yeah,
and
I remember
this
it.
and-
Yeah, I remember we played Rust instead.
We did.
We chose it.
Yeah.
over
The
DayZ.
last big trend that preceded Battle Royale was the survival game thing.
No, it was that, then Hero Shooters.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Sorry, I left out Hero Shooter.
And then MOBA was in there somewhere, or Battle Arena games.
It was before.
Would have been before, yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I think this makes sense to me. Did you have a different thought process, Ryan?
No, I was just curious to hear everybody else's thoughts on it. I mean, it's because, while you're right that I completely agree that people that like PUBG will probably like this, the challenge is still,
Getting them
can
off
you
of
get
PUBG.
exactly? Can you get them to stop playing PUBG long enough to put money into something else?
That's a good point too.
That's
like that
easier
barrier-
said than
It's a
done.
challenge. I am excited about getting to play DayZ again. Like, even if that sounds silly, it's like, well, I assume people will be on the servers on Xbox now. Friends who I couldn't play with on PC will be able to play it now. And you'll have that trouble of finding each other on the map where all the street signs are in Russian all over again. It's funny, this is all from Arma 3. What a game.
Yeah,
What a game.
go figure.
What a bad game that I did not enjoy at all that made so many good games that I like.
What's the last one that did that? Half-Life? Team Fortress
That wasn't
2?
a bad game.
No. I mean, what's the last game that actually affected like an entire
It's an interesting
as
question.
a platform, right?
Oh gosh, yeah. We mean,
I mean, I
spawning,
feel like Arma
Portal and
3.
Team Fortress.
Team Fortress, Portal, Counter-Strike.
Strike, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting thought.
It depends how much it is. Does it say?
I don't think it's been stated yet. I mean, this was right off of Twitter. There's them saying, yeah, it's gonna be happening.
It's cheap. I think it'll do well.
Yeah. So look for that later this year. Elsewhere in zombie news, some unfortunate news at Dead Rising developer Capcom Vancouver. They have been hit with some layoffs. A Capcom representative provided the following statement to IGN. They said, quote, Capcom Vancouver has undergone a restructure which has impacted approximately 30% of the studio as part of its regular periodic assessment of upcoming projects and overall studio goals. The team is continuing to work hard to support the recent release of Puzzle Fighter for mobile and is dedicated to its flagship Dead Rising series, end quote. Now, according to a source that spoke to Kotaku, Capcom Vancouver's unannounced project has been canceled, and Capcom has cut the scope on the next Dead Rising game. The unannounced game, according to Kotaku, had not been greenlit. It was a very early prototype, but it would have been a third-person action-adventure taking place in an alternate reality version of New York.
That's a bummer. That sounds cool.
Yeah, it could have been. So let's talk about Dead Rising and what the future holds for that series.
Dead Rising just came out on PS4.
Yeah, they clearly had a 1 year exclusivity because on like a year and a day later, it was out on PS4
And bundled with the DLC and all that.
Right.
I think
which was to be expected.
Frank's Big Package or whatever
Yeah,
it
it
was.
was. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Anyway.
Dead Rising.
I really like the game. I know it was a lot of the longtime fans. Some of them felt like it had strayed too far away from the 72-hour main mode, and but as far as like just accessibility, playability, the way it feels, again, harkening back to that, I really liked it. I reviewed it. I gave it a great score. I'm
8-point great. You gave it
8 point something 1 maybe. I'm really bummed.
An 8-point bad.
Yeah.
A great point bad.
A great point bad. I'm really bummed to hear that they're reducing the scope of the next one because I feel like what this game did really well was like kind of open it up. So.
But is that so? That's I saw some. I was watching the community chatter on this, and I thought the community brought up some interesting points here, and I want to pose them to you because. Is reducing the scope necessarily a bad thing? Now, if we're talking about budget, that's one thing.
Sure.
But if it's the if it's the scope, I mean, if it's budget tied to design scope, like okay, well maybe we, again I'm speculating. I have no idea what the details of this are, but if it's like, all right, well we only have, let's say, half or 2/3 of the budget that we were going to have before Capcom, cut us back. Let's rethink what we can do with the budget we have. Like the strength of Dead Rising 1 was in part the fact that it was just all in the mall. It was a very
Love that
dense experience.
Yeah.
Whereas 3 really sprawled out.
It blew it up,
and 4, kind of went more open worldy. So is a reduction in scope necessarily a bad thing?
If they're going back to what it was like in 1, I would way prefer that. I love that game so much, and I don't like any of the others even close to it.
I totally agree. Like having that focus is sometimes an advantage. I mean, we have so many open world games now, like having something that's a little bit more direct and it's contained, not necessarily that you can't have space to explore, but just having that, like I said, just focus could benefit it really well.
Yeah, I disagree. Like, I don't think that what Dead Rising is right now, very rarely do you see developers like pare back design, right? Like if you're paring it down and focusing on a super tight, really, really polished experience, that's cool. I don't think Dead Rising is going that way anymore. I mean, you saw it in 3, and then you saw the natural evolution of that in 4. Dead Rising is now the game about duct taping a truck to a golf cart with blades everywhere and making crazy combo weapons. Like that is the sort of madcap slapstick action that the series is now.
But that doesn't mean that's what it should be or should continue to be,
Totally
especially
agree.
given, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, we didn't hear anybody trumpeting any big sales numbers for Dead Rising 4.
It
So
severely underperformed.
I mean, that's
I think they were aiming for 2 million and they didn't get anywhere near that.
So you've got to change gears.
Do something,
on that,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
What my biggest concern is what I think is happening is that the budget is being pared down, but they're not going to reevaluate. It's just how can we get, the same experience on a smaller scale? And I don't think that works. I don't think that in this game that it's most.
How do you know that?
What do you mean?
You can't know that.
Well, I mean, the series is getting bigger and more explosive and wackier, and like the series stands on the fact that there's so many cool, crazy things that you can do. And paring that down, I feel like is sort of the antithesis of the idea of that game. Like that idea of the
It would
go
be a
anywhere.
change of pace, but I like, and this is me totally speaking from personal preference, in that I would be happy for the change of pace to go back to what 1 was like, because I liked, the feeling of inventory management, like having to, even then it was wacky, like having to collect like orange juice bottles before I went
exactly.
anywhere, and having to have books so that my dumb blades that I stole from a crazy clown
don't break immediately.
would last longer.
Right.
Like I really liked that stuff, including the way that the timer worked. Like I guess 2 and 3 have that too, but I feel like it was more of a survival game and less of an arcadey thing, and I would prefer that. But that is really just me, and I'm sure some people who liked the first one also.
Yeah.
That would get me back in, whereas I didn't actually like 4 very much.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed the 72-hour modes in the first 2 games. Didn't spend a whole lot of time with 3, but I really enjoyed 4. I am so happy to be wrong about this. Like if they take the comments and the criticism from that very vocal section of their fan base about the fact that this isn't a Dead Rising game anymore, and use that to inform Dead Rising 5 or whatever it's going to be called, totally fine with it.
Yeah,
Super happy.
Either way, like I just hope that studio is all right.
Yeah.
Figure stuff out. Like it's really sucks to have layoffs like that.
Yeah.
Is it fair to speculate that the Dead Rising 5 is the make or break game for that series? Like if it doesn't bounce back, sales wise, it's over.
Yeah, I think it's fair.
Yeah, it's been a series. It's been going for a while now.
This long, yeah.
It's been going for. I mean, what was it? 2006.
It was one of the first Xbox 360 classics, the ones that was released with the silver.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, it came out in that first year of the Xbox 360, which so it came out in
it's the
August
game,
of 06, as I recall.
It's the game that made me buy a 360.
There you go.
Wow.
Yeah, it was also one of the first games to really burn people that didn't have an HD TV.
Oh, yeah.
The text, it was designed for HD TVs.
It was impossibly
And the text was super tiny.
Yeah.
If you were playing on a standard def set. But yeah, it's a 12-year-old series at this point.
Crazy. I can't. Where does time go?
Yeah.
All right. I want to skip ahead. We're starting to run out of time a little bit. Just a couple things. So there is a new not Need for Speed game that may be on the way at Criterion.
Ooh.
PC Games News reports a job listing on the Criterion website that calls for a lead combat designer who is passionate about, quote, all types of combat in games, but in particularly, his, no pacifists.
All types.
We want all the combat, but in particularly melee combat. The job listing also drops the terms action and action adventure games and physics and physicality in games as hints to the new title. So,
what could a developer
Criterion
known for car games?
Fable 5.
Yeah.
Because obviously Playground are working on 4.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're also working on a new IP. So
Yeah, when I first read this, because that's like when I first read this, I was like, wait a second. EA I think, still owns Road Rash.
They do.
And there was that rumored reboot of Road Rash that never went anywhere from some years ago. And now that Need for Speed has basically been transitioned off of Criterion to Ghost, which is made up of some ex-Criterion folks. It's like that means Criterion's freed up, and what if this is it? What if this is Road Rash? That's melee. That's as melee combat as it gets.
Action adventure.
What if it's Dead Space? It's not, but it does say brand new IP.
Yeah, and that's
It's
where
the
I was
big
like, I
thing.
went back and new IP. Okay,
like it could be anything.
Well, I mean,
new IPs are good.
Yeah.
Don't get me
Yes.
wrong.
We did get Road Redemption last year,
No, we didn't.
which was not a good video game.
Did you guys play Ride to Hell Retribution?
Yeah,
That
I
was
did.
also a game that came out.
That is on like every list
Real
of
bad.
the 10 worst, most
boy.
laughably bad.
just avoided it.
It's like a good B
thanks.
movie. It's so bad, it's good. It's like it's
My
so
favorite
bad.
game is Deadly Premonition, which is the epitome of that.
You're the audience for that, then, for sure.
Yes.
Yes. Give me more. Give me
So-
more B movie video games.
I stopped playing that after it was like too much like Twin Peaks. Because watching Twin Peaks is like,
It's Twin Peaks, the video game.
oh, I need to take a break.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. We'll see what Criterion is cooking up. Remember, they had that. They did work on the Star Wars Battlefront VR thing.
Yes.
They made
was
that,
cool.
Yeah.
which was a kind of a neat little one-off. And then they were working on that new IP, which we jokingly referred to here as GoPro the game. You remember that from? It was that E3 from, gosh, it must be 3, maybe even 4 years ago at this point, where It was the one where EA showed off a bunch of in-development projects, but that were untitled and unannounced. That's where they first showed the what is now Anthem, the Casey Hudson project.
Yeah.
And then they showed off that CG teaser for the Criterion game where it was all first person and it was like action sports. So there was like skydiving, there was like a dirt bike and all kinds of first person crazy action sports stuff. So that seemingly got canceled, and I guess now they're on to things where you fight each other.
Onward and upward.
Yes.
Cool.
Combat of all types.
Congrats to them.
No, it's always great to see new IPs, especially we've been just talking about like new major publishers like EA. It's great to see new IPs get spun up. That's always
Because there's such a risk, and I would love to see more of it. I mean, as a fan of games and all that, it's easy to say, "Oh, I would love to see more new IP," understanding that financially that is a huge risk.
Yeah, that's my thing. Where I'm the opposite. It's like, man, I'd love to see the sequel, but also like I'd rather see a new IP from like a studio that I love because I want to see them try something different.
Yeah.
Every now and then.
Horizon Zero Dawn. Hopefully, was the game that will make a lot of major publishers rethink the idea of allowing their new studios to work on other things besides the franchise they're known for.
Didn't they think that with The Last of Us? Like, wasn't anyone like, hey, let's try and do that again?
Well,
That was an incredibly successful new IP.
you would think so, but I guess not. Maybe Naughty Dog is like so A-list that they're like
it doesn't count.
exempt from that. It didn't. Nobody thought that it could apply to anyone else. And
Yeah, you're
no
right.
disrespect to
Guerrilla.
Guerrilla Games, no disrespect, but
I mean, but yeah, Guerrilla Games is now in that conversation. I think.
that is very true. All right, get in the Rainbow Six conversation.
Oh boy.
Coming up next weekend. Sorry. It's going to be the President's Day weekend if you're in the USA. February 15th to the 19th, you'll be able to play Rainbow Six Siege for free. So it starts on a Thursday and runs through Monday. Monday is a holiday. You may have it off from your job or school.
Right.
So you've got a potentially long weekend there, the President's Day holiday weekend. And Ubisoft just opening up Rainbow Six Siege on all platforms. Go download it, have a go, have fun.
Maybe a response to the PR disaster of last week?
Yup.
Probably.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah.
They increased
Sorry
the
about
price
that.
of the game, and then everyone hated it, and they took it back.
They took it back.
Yeah, it's weird. There's a lot. Like, I love Siege. I think Siege is
It's so
very, very good game, but it's also so hard for new players to get into, and increasing the price made it worse because the cost of operators is still so high, even year one operators. So it takes a really long time for you to unlock everyone. It's not pay to win though, because you have access to even the base operators are still really good.
Yeah.
and you can
I mean, they're
game them, but-
competitive. Yeah.
Yeah,
But that's still the thing is like not having that experience that everyone else has and like knowing all the buildings and knowing all the secret holes to shoot someone through as we just saw.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah.
This is Tom Marks,
it's
by the
definitely
way.
that thing.
Yeah, we're
I
watching
think it's probably
footage
Tom
of our recent, this
Dang.
Tom's re-review.
All the hot shots.
Standing on the shoulders of giants, that'd be me, from reviewing the game originally. It's changed so much that there's been so much content added to it. God, this game is fun to watch, isn't it? As well as play.
I remember the first time I played it was at a convention, and we were doing a competition on a stage, and it was 4v4, and then ended up 1v1 at the very end,
no.
and there was a minute left. Like, it was insane, and it has moments like that so often that
Yeah.
it's just very intense.
Yeah.
It's an awesome spectator sport.
It's okay.
Very sad.
And it really leans into what I think Ubisoft is doing really well these days, which is take a game, release it. If it doesn't really work out the way you want it to, just start over. Like, Rainbow Six Siege is a completely different game than it was. And not completely, but it's a very, very much more evolved version of what it was at
More
launch.
like a 1.5.
Yeah.
Games as
days,
service.
And you're seeing that with For Honor, and you see that sort of with The Division. So
True.
they're really good with post-launch support, and it's a trend that I hope continues with them.
I'm on hashtag Team Sledge. Sledge is my guy.
Yeah.
I remember the
Knock
last time we
those
talked
walls
about this.
down.
I'm very bad at remembering their names, but I can tell you what they look like. But I liked Valkyrie, which
The guy with the
I should
gun.
say Valkyrie. I think.
I never got to play this, so I actually really want to try it over the weekend.
Yeah.
That's really
So
nice.
Give it a go. So next weekend, the President's Day weekend, just download it, give it a look, and Ubisoft obviously hoping that you'll be hooked enough that you'll want to just buy the game and keep right on playing. But it's great to see. I mean, go play it. Why not? Whole game unlocked right there for you. All right, Alana Pierce,
Oh, what's up?
Marketplace Report. What can we spend our money on this week?
We have, I would say Maronas.
Let me see that.
You would pronounce that as Maronas, I imagine.
Yeah, Marooners.
February 6th, Xbox One X Enhanced. It is A co-op game by the sounds of things.
All right.
Dandara, February 6th, is a gravity-bending Metroidvania. Wow, that sounds
I have played a little bit of that on the Switch, and I actually like it a lot.
Sounds very
you
cool.
sort of you point where you want to go, and then you like zoom there, and it's
Looks kind of neat.
yeah, it's pretty fun.
Mercenary Kings Reloaded Edition, also February 6th. It's not a games of February 6th. Little Triangle is on Xbox Playing Anywhere. That's February 7th. Cute triangle skins to choose from, and tons of bosses to battle. Very nice.
There's got to be a Doritos skin for that, right?
Probably. Pinstripe, February 7th. You ventured through 6 levels of hell as Teddy, an estranged former minister searching through the afterlife for his daughter and her kidnapper.
Oh no,
Would
Teddy.
not have if
Right?
if we had
Based on
played a
Pinstripe.
game
So strange.
where you said match if we'd done this like in the newspaper where it's you got the names
Yeah,
of
match
the
the names
games,
of the description.
yeah, and it would never have
That
paired
sounds
those
fun. Die, DYE, is February 7th. That's a challenging platformer. Bleed 2, February 9th.
two. Fitting that it comes after Die.
Yeah.
That is a fast-paced action game. Starpoint Gemini Warlords is February 9th. It combines a mix of 4x strategy, RPG elements, and starship combat.
Get that 4X.
Oh yeah, I said 4 times. 4x.
Okay.
That's the right way to say that. Overdriven Reloaded Special Edition, February 9th. Big bosses, lots of bullets, etc. Vertical shooting elements. There you go. And Quantic Pinball on February 9th. A unique blend of pinball with arcade gameplay featuring realistic ball physics.
Wow.
So then, on Marketplace, February Games with Gold, we have Shadow Warrior, February 1 to 28, Xbox One.
Recommended.
Surprisingly good game.
Very
Assassin's Creed Chronicles India, February 16 to March 15 on Xbox One. Less good game. Split Second, February 1 to 15, Xbox One, Xbox 360. Pretty good game.
Back to a good
Yeah,
game,
good game.
yes.
And Crazy Taxi, February 16 to 28, Xbox One and Xbox 360. Also a good game. not as good as the GameCube version. I don't think that's in
Correct.
this version.
I-
That's why I
yeah,
say
I-
it's less good.
Yeah, I think we talked about it last week. It's very good.
Has there ever been a licensed song more directly attached to a video game? Segue.
Yeah, I was hoping you were doing
nailed
segue.
it.
Oh, wow.
Well, we ruined the segue by yelling segue and
I
not
know,
telling you
it's
what it's
fine.
a segue to.
That's all right. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
We
They're-
appreciate it.
They're going to hang with us anyway.
really good, though.
Because they're good people out there in Unlocked Land. The Unlocked Block Trivia Challenge. Talked about at the top. We've got a trophy in the works. We got to play all year. We got a whole year of trivia questions to go first. So let me pull up the scoring here.
Yeah,
We, of course, have a couple of new faces on the panel. Miranda with a point and Alana with 3 points.
Ooh.
Brandon, you've got a bit of a hole to dig yourself out
fine,
of.
I'm
but
confident.
You've
You're
got an
gonna-
entire year.
You'll pass me so fast. It's fine. I'm gonna
Actually,
lose this.
I don't. If this question is
11
an
months.
indicator, I don't know if I will.
Well, a lot of them. So you have a note here that says, "Please no more Xbox on."
Yeah.
Oh,
Shows
yeah.
slash movies
Yeah.
questions. We have
So-
a lot of questions that aren't actually about Xbox sometimes.
That's all any like as soon as I do one or two of those, then all anybody was sending in were like, what Xbox game was on this show?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
In this,
like
scene,
okay, but let's change it up a little bit.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go to Josh Bunyan, who writes in and asks, which original Xbox game, so OG Xbox here, features an instrumental version of Blow Me Away, which is a Breaking Benjamin song.
Ooh.
Do you guys know the answer to
I
this?
feel like I know this
I do.
answer, and I'm very conflicted because I don't remember.
I want to go. So your choices are Time Splitters 2, beloved first-person shooter. We have Mercenaries: Playground of Destruction, also an excellent game, arguably one of, if not the first,
open world.
good Grand Theft Auto clone.
Yeah.
Then we have Dark Watch, which is a bit more of an obscure action game, and then Halo 2. So I will go to Miranda first.
So the thing is, here you numbered them instead of put an A, B, C, or
Oh,
D.
he did that.
Gosh darn it, Josh. How could you?
I'm too lazy to. Why bother? He's got some formatting. I don't need to change it.
No, I feel like if I get this wrong, I'm gonna be real dumb. But I thought it was Halo because I thought Halo did something with Breaking Benjamin.
Okay, you're gonna go with Halo. You
Yeah.
don't look confident. But
No, I'm not confident at all. But I'm just what I'm gonna go with. I'll just go with Halo
you're
too.
going with Halo.
I feel like you know the answer, so I want to go first because
I know. Yeah, I'm making
she
you
does.
go
yeah.
first.
I think it's.
So, I know I've heard a Breaking Benjamin song. It was never in my orbit when they were popular, but I played the hell out of Mercenaries, so I feel like that might have been my gateway into Breaking Benjamin. I'm gonna go to final answer.
All right, now you own all their. You celebrate their entire catalog now,
I'm just a super fan. Breaking Benjamin.
Alana.
Well, my story is specific because I actually did discover Breaking Benjamin from Halo 2. And that's how I decided to like them.
Fire your ghost! It's time to go.
I was like, yes,
Show me the way. stay.
I was like certain this happened.
Yeah, when you
Yeah,
encounter
that's what I thought too. I was like,
What-
isn't that
what-
how I knew
at
that?
what
point was that
because of
featured?
Halo?
So it's about 2/3 of the way through the game. You come to a big encounter with a couple of hunters, and the song spins up, but without the lyrics.
It's
Yeah.
that one
Yes.
level that you can get through without shooting anyone. It's like a series of long pillars, and then there's one room that's 2 hunters, but you don't have to kill anyone that whole level. I don't remember what it's called.
But
pretty-
yeah, it's the lyric version is on
Yeah,
the
yeah.
soundtrack, the album, which by the way, one of the best Halo video game soundtracks. Halo? No. Movie? No. Try that a third time.
Yeah, there you go.
Video game soundtrack
Nailed
Nailed it.
ever made. Marty O'Donnell along with Michael Salvatore, and they got Steve Vai played on that. Of course, Breaking Benjamin's on there. Incubus is on there.
Really? Jeez.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
It is
And I
a
think that
very
was
good
one of
Like
the
a
ones where
mixtape.
is it Halo 1 or Halo 2 where if you press the back button on the Master Chief Collection, the songs are different because of licensing?
Oh.
Was that a rumor before it happened? It might have been that they were like they couldn't get the licenses again,
Well,
so they had to.
I didn't hear
I know
about that.
the music does change.
With Master Chief Collection, Halo 2 specifically, since it's Halo 2 anniversary, they redid the score.
Right. That's probably just what I'm
the-
thinking of then. It's when you press
Yeah.
the back button, the music is noticeably different and
Yeah.
it's weird.
Because you're switching back and forth with
Right.
Yeah, and that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but I use the back button all the time because when you play on the original version, everything's lighter. So in anything that's dark, it's like their shadows just aren't as good. So if you're like, oh, I can't see very well, you just hit the back button and everything
Oh,
lights
yeah.
up.
Yeah.
So I was using it all the
Yeah.
time throughout every level.
So Josh Bunyan, great stuff. Love that. So let's see. We had Miranda
I'm so relieved.
and
Yeah.
I was really nervous. Like, if I get this wrong, I'm going to be like the worst
Alana.
Halo fan.
Well, my thing is that in my head, I remember it being like having the lyrics. So
Yeah,
I'm like,
I remember being
what
really
if this is like you're throwing me off and saying it's instrumental and then it's in a
Right.
different game?
No, because I remember hearing it while I was playing, being really surprised because I knew with some promotional stuff because of Breaking Benjamin and. Guys, I'm so bad at trivia.
In hindsight, I should have gone with Halo 2 just because of the marketing push of that game. I mean,
Yeah.
on cups, I saw a trailer for
Oh, 7-Eleven, yeah.
Yeah, at 7-Eleven. I saw a trailer for Halo 2 at a movie theater.
That's cool.
Yeah, with the VO from Prophet being like, I'll turn your whole world to glass. And I was like, yeah.
So if we go play Halo,
It's great.
I want to play Halo
I
so
want to play
bad.
Halo all the time.
Me too.
I miss it.
Sometimes I think
There'll be
about
no
it,
show
it's
next week because we'll be playing Halo and Grand Theft Auto. Sorry, guys. We're just that's how we're gonna spend this hour and a half. All right, so yeah, great stuff, Josh Bunyan. If you would like to participate, try and stump the panel here, or maybe just help Brandon get in the game a little
You know what?
bit.
I don't need your pity.
Well, it's too late.
I actually kind of do.
Too late.
Sick fun.
Send your Xbox trivia question to unlocked@ign.com. Please include 4 multiple choice answers and note the correct one in your email. It's time to roll. So let's check in with everybody, see where if, the Unlocked crew, the Unlocked fans want to follow you guys. Where can they do so? What are you up to, Miranda?
You can follow me online at Havoc Rose, and that's Havoc with a K, pretty much everywhere. I just got done finishing the Call of Duty DLC, which is unfortunately not on Xbox yet. I think it's about a
30
month
days,
away.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, which is annoying because all my save stuff is on Xbox. And then I was like, well, starting fresh. So yeah, I just reviewed that, and that's kind of the big thing for me for right now.
Sounds good.
Yep.
Alana?
You can find me online at Charizard. It's my name in the middle of Charizard. This morning I published 2 things: a Fae preview that'll be a more cohesive version of the rambling I did today. It's a hard game to talk about, man. That preview took me a long time to write. And also a cosplay feature of a really cool Black Panther cosplay because I'm super stoked about that. But Marty and I are also starting a podcast, and the trailer is going to go up in literally 10 minutes. So by the time you're watching this, that will be live.
Love it.
About it.
Excited to hear about that. I don't even know anything about
It's
it.
ridiculous. It's not related to IGN, so it's like me, like it's my version of the Tesla, but it's not at all
Right.
to do with Tesla.
Yeah, that's good.
It's fun.
Find your thing.
Yeah, we have episodes planned until May, so
Wow.
yeah, I'm very excited.
Be fun. Brandon?
I am knee deep right now in IGN First, which will be debuting soon.
Friday. It's fine. It'll be Friday.
Friday.
Barring some catastrophe,
No,
which
no
could happen.
catastrophes. It'll be Friday. I'm really excited about it. I hope you guys like it. I've been just going through hours and hours and hours of footage until my eyes bleed.
Yeah.
But we're getting close, and it's going to be cool.
Excellent.
You can find me on Twitter at Brandon Tyrell, just my name.
Sounds good. And I'm at DMC_Ryan. Unfiltered is the Genova Chen episode is posted. Boy, was he fascinating to talk to. Just quite a perspective on not just the games industry, but life in general. I really, really enjoyed getting to know him a little bit. And then next episode is filmed. That'll be up, I think, in about 2 weeks.
Exciting stuff.
Yeah, I've had fun doing it. And then, check out Alana's Faye preview.
Yeah.
FE, just IGN FE preview.
Yeah.
Google that. And I don't know what else.
Playing a lot of games right now. Just
play some Monster Hunter.
We need to play Monster Hunter together.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Lucy is also playing.
I'm loving.
Are you on
Monster
Xbox
Hunter.
as well?
Oh yes.
Let's play.
So
Have a crew.
oh my god, I started it on Saturday because my girlfriend was out of town. I'm like, what am I gonna do for 12 hours? Turns out I'm gonna play Monster Hunter World for 12 hours.
And now that I'm done with my
let's do it.
review, I'm back on Monster Hunter. So let's do it.
Yeah,
Excellent.
Yay.
totally down.
Excellent.
We just
Hunting monsters. Do you want to join, Ray?
successful
Do you want to
match.
hunt monsters?
The unlocked.
I actually would love to check it out, but I can't keep up with you guys time wise.
Oh yeah,
No, it's just
rare.
It's not gonna happen.
that's the thing. I haven't played since this weekend, so I'm like itching to get back to it.
Yeah, so
I'm pretty far behind everyone as well. So.
Me too.
All right. Well, we're all good then.
we'll all play Sea of Thieves together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll be
Get my
coming
mic working before then.
Please. Yeah.
Oh, I should
Probably
look
have a
into
microphone in
that.
the office here somewhere, right? Like,
I think
I
maybe
have
we could
2.
expense one for you.
maybe. Yeah. You have two?
I think so. I don't remember if they both work though. They're shoved in a.
I don't know. I mean, it sucks. It sucks, man.
Yeah.
Monster Hunter won't be fun without it either. So let me get on that.
All right, we're gonna take care of Alana's microphone situation, and we'll see you back here for another episode of Unlocked next week.